my income? Have you ever asked yourself this question? If you're nearing retirement or already retired, few questions are more important. You probably know how much you've accumulated in retirement savings. However, knowing your number is not the same as knowing your income. It's the latter that this presentation is about. We'll explain a strategy for retirement income that's helped many people gain confidence about their personal retirement security. The strategy is called the Income for Life model. It's an investing process with the objective of creating inflation-adjusted income for life. If you have questions about retirement, you're not alone. According to researchers, having enough income in retirement is the #1 financial concern for a majority of Americans. And it's not just older people who are anxious about retirement. 70% of Americans between the ages of 30 and 49 indicate that retirement income is also their biggest financial concern. This really shouldn't be surprising. Long gone are the days when most workers participated in employer-sponsored plans that guaranteed a lifetime paycheck. Today, most workers rely upon retirement savings plans that guarantee no income at all. And while 401k and similar plans have advantages, including flexibility and portability, they don't automatically turn retirement savings into a steady monthly income. It's up to you to do that. The Income for Life model, or the model for short, may help you answer some of the questions that speak directly to your retirement. I've built up savings, but how much can I spend each month? Will my income keep pace with rising prices? And what happens if I live longer than I expect to? Will I run out of money? The model was developed to help people address these concerns. Like any good plan, it starts with goals. In fact, there are 5. The first goal is to reduce the impact of emotions. When it comes to investing, too often our emotions get in the way of sensible decision-making. This matters at any age, but it's an especially important issue for retirees. Retirees have less time to make up for investing mistakes, so the financial impact of mistakes can be more severe for the retiree. Behavior about one's money matters a lot. Research has shown this over a long period of time. For example, Dalbar has demonstrated that the rates of return investors actually earn tend to be a lot less than the returns produced by the overall market. If you're going to invest, it's really important to try to match the returns of the market. That means you have to find a way to be in the market through all market conditions. The second goal of the plan is to increase your income to help maintain purchasing power. Remember that no retiree stops needing money. When prices rise, especially over a prolonged period, a retiree's standard of living can be devastated. The third goal of the Income for Life model is to reduce risk. In fact, mitigating financial risks is one of the most important challenges retirees face. And while there are many risks to consider, 3 stand out as being enormously important. The first is picking a bad year to retire. The second, keeping your income on pace with rising costs. And the third, making sure your income lasts your entire life. Any one of those risks, or a combination of them, could leave a retiree with a greatly diminished standard of living. So they will be discussed more fully in this presentation. The fourth goal of the Income for Life model is to preserve principal. In order to meet emergency and other unexpected cash needs, having an investment strategy in retirement that includes a measure of liquidity is obviously important. The fifth goal is to realize the best possible chance of achieving projected investment returns by keeping assets invested over long periods of time. If these goals resonate with you, then keep watching. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how the Income for Life model seeks to help you gain a stronger retirement. Risk is an ever-present part of our lives. Through our actions, we try to manage risks all the time. Risks can be reduced through either a transfer of the risk or avoidance of it. Think about how we do this with our children. To avoid risk, we teach our kids not to play with matches, and to drive safely, and to shun taking drugs or engaging in risky behavior. We also regularly transfer risks. To protect against the financial cost of having to replace a home destroyed by fire, we purchase homeowner insurance. In this way, we transfer the risk to the insurance company. For retirees, avoiding or transferring financial risk is hugely important. But let's dig deeper into the three big risks, starting with timing risk. Here's a question. Would you want your financial security in retirement left to chance? Probably not. But when it comes to being able to create enough retirement income, simply picking a bad year to retire could dramatically reduce the total income you might generate from your savings. The problem is, you can't know ahead of time if the year you choose to retire will be a good one or a bad one for investments. For example, what if you retired in 2000 or 2008? To illustrate the danger of timing risk, here's a hypothetical example. Let's assume that you've been saving for retirement and have accumulated an investment portfolio which includes stocks. And let's further assume that you have the unfortunate luck of retiring just when stock prices begin to plunge. Say your objective is to withdraw enough savings from your portfolio to generate $1,000 in monthly income. To get that income, you'll be selling some of the shares of the stock you own. In the first month of retirement, if the stock price is $10 per share, you'd have to sell 100 shares, 100 times $10, to meet your goal of having $1,000 in income. Now imagine that during the next month, stock prices fall. The price of your stock declines to $8. To get the same $1,000 income, you'll now need to sell 125 shares. What would happen if in the next month the stock price dropped to $5? Well, now you have to sell 200 shares to realize the same $1,000. If the slide in stock prices continues, there's a danger that your withdrawals could wipe out your entire portfolio. Now imagine there's a turnaround in share prices. Even though the prices recover to some extent, the upturn in prices can't help you. That's because the shares you've already sold are now irrevocably gone from your portfolio. They're no longer available to appreciate in price. That's money that's been spent. As retirement columnist Robert Powell stated in his Market Watch columns, get the timing right, and your money is likely to last over the course of your entire retirement. Get the timing wrong, and your money isn't going to last over the course of your retirement. What can a retiree do to manage timing risk? One way is with the Income for Life model. But you have to think differently about how you arrange your savings. The key is to segment your savings. Remember that timing risk is most dangerous in the early years of retirement. You can use the model to set up two distinct conservative money accounts, or segments. We call them Segment 1 and Segment 2. Segment 1 is funded with a portion of your savings that is invested very conservatively. Segment 1 has only one job: pay you monthly income for 60 months. That's 5 years of predictable income. Think of Segment 1 as an anchor for your emotions to help keep you consistent with the strategy. If in 2 years into the plan stocks should tumble, your monthly paycheck isn't at risk. It's secure for 3 more years. What happens after 5 years? Well, at the same time money was put into Segment 1, Segment 2 was also funded with conservative money. For the first 5 years of the plan, Segment 2 simply accumulates and earns some interest. Beginning in year 6, Segment 2 takes over to produce your income. Its job is to send you an additional 60 months of predictable monthly income. The income in years 6 through 10 may be a bit higher. That's because the interest earned during the first 5 years will create a step up. The important thing to remember is that, together, Segments 1 and 2 produced monthly income over the first 10 years of your retirement. That is how you can effectively protect yourself against the worst effects of timing risk. Let's look at the second big risk: increasing prices. If you're getting ready to retire, it could be true that you paid less for your first house than you did for your most recent car. Increasing prices are a threat to any retiree's standard of living. That's why it's so important to try to mitigate the effects of prices that rise. So how does income keep pace? This is where your investments in stocks may help. Remember that investment performance cannot be guaranteed, and past performance is no guarantee of future results. But it's also true that, historically, stocks have outpaced inflation over long periods of time. For example, research from Ibbotson Associates showed that from 1949 through 2012, in 100% of 20-year rolling periods, large-cap stocks produced average annual returns that were significantly higher than inflation. What's more important is keeping your investments in the market long-term. Giving investments time is absolutely critical. How do you remain invested? Fight your impulses to sell when stocks are volatile and stock prices falling? The answer is segmenting your savings. The Income for Life model seeks to create income that keeps pace with inflation. To do this, at the inception of the model, we would have set up 4 additional segments: 3 to produce income in years 11 through 25, and 1 segment to create additional liquidity in the plan. Each of these 4 segments contains an allocation of stocks. The segments that are held for the longest period receive the smallest share of your savings, but they are also the segments that seek the highest returns. Segment 3 is held for 10 years, Segment 4 for 15 years, and Segment 5 for 20 years. Together, these 3 segments are earmarked to produce income that we hope will increase along with inflation. Segment 3 will produce monthly income in years 11 through 15, Segment 4 in years 16 through 20, and Segment 5 in years 21 through 25. In the future, when it's time to access a segment to produce income, the money will be placed into a conservative money vehicle to make certain that your monthly income is predictable. This is a key principle of the Income for Life model. If you know that your monthly income is stable, it will be easier to remain consistent with the overall plan. If over time stocks perform well, the monthly income will increase. The key advantage is that the model enables you to designate specific sums of money to specific purposes, namely creating monthly income for specific phases of your retirement. In other words, this is a plan, the financial equivalent of a map or GPS to help you get to your personal retirement destination. Before we talk about the third big risk, let's address Segment 6. Segment 6 received the smallest share of savings, but it's held for the longest time, 25 years. It may include the highest share of stocks. Segment 6 seeks to create capital appreciation and additional liquidity. Remember, liquidity was one of our 5 key goals. Now let's think about the third big risk, making sure you have enough money to last your lifetime. Long life? Is that really a risk? Well, in an economic sense, it is. Remember that no retiree stops needing income. You probably know someone who is in their late 80s or 90s, but living longer makes it even more urgent to have income that also lasts longer. How do we strategize against running out of money? Well, let's think about adding one more segment. We'll call it the longevity segment. Typically, the longevity segment is created by allocating a portion of your retirement savings to a payout annuity, sometimes called a deferred income annuity. It's a vehicle designed to provide lifetime monthly income. Generally, with the model, the longevity annuity begins to pay guaranteed monthly income in year 11. Why then? It's because segments 1 and 2 already cover your first 10 years of retirement with predictable monthly income. It's in year 11 when we would tap segment 3, which may have included some stocks. We'd hope that this segment would have grown. But if stocks don't perform, the guaranteed monthly income from the longevity annuity acts as a backstop. It would be important in helping you meet your monthly expenses. Again, this is an example of transferring a measure of risk away from you and to an insurance company. The important thing to remember is that by using the Income for Life model, your financial advisor can help you navigate your personal retirement income challenge using segments that are customized to your needs and objectives. Your advisor would create a plan that would be outlined in a formal, written report, the personalized analysis of the model. Ask for one. This report would be important if, for example, you don't know if you're on track for retirement. During this presentation, we've covered a lot of information. Let's conclude with the same question we asked at the beginning. What's your income? Hopefully you now understand that there's a transparent, well-conceived plan, the Income for Life model, that may help you answer this very important question.